I need you to stop whatever you are doing right now and pay attention to this. Because what I am about to show you is something most Americans spend their entire working lives never finding out. And by the time they do find out, it is already too late to fix it. Here is the situation. Right now, today, there is money leaving your 401k that you never see leaving. No notification, no alert, no line item on your statement. It just quietly disappears month after month after month. And while that is happening, the IRS is sitting in the background patiently waiting for the day you retire so they can take their cut of everything that is left. And if the market decides to crash the year you finally stop working, the damage that causes to your retirement is permanent in a way that most people never fully grasp until it happens to them. That number sitting in your 401k account right now, that is not your retirement money. That is the best case version of your retirement money before the real world gets to it. Today, I am going to walk you through exactly what is happening inside your 401k that your statement is not showing you. Real numbers, real dollars, and real steps you can take starting this week. Stay until the end, because the last thing I cover is the one that is costing Americans the most money right now, and almost nobody is talking about it. Before we get into it, if you are watching this and you are not subscribed yet, do that right now and turn on the bell. I want to tell you exactly why that matters. The rules around 401k accounts change constantly. Contribution limits shift every year. Tax laws get rewritten, new penalties get introduced, and when they change, your employer says nothing. Your HR department says nothing. Your financial advisor calls nobody. What I do on this channel is track every single one of those changes and explain in plain English what changed, what it means for your money, and what you need to do before the deadline passes. Missing one update on this channel could mean missing thousands of dollars. Subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get into it. Before I walk you through each drain, I want to say something important. None of what I'm about to show you is illegal. None of it is a scam. None of it is hidden in the shadows somewhere. Every single thing I'm going to cover today is technically disclosed somewhere, buried inside documents written in language most people never read and never fully understand. That is the game. The information exists. It is just presented in a way that almost guarantees most people will never act on it. Today, that changes for you. Let's go through each one. Drain 1. The fee that is silently eating your balance. Let me start with the one that makes people the most angry. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is so quiet, so invisible, and so expensive over time that when you finally see the real number, it genuinely shocks people. Your 401k is charging you fees every single year. And the way those fees work, they never show up as a separate charge on your statement. They are built directly into the funds you are invested in and deducted automatically before the returns ever reach your account. They are called expense ratios, and here is what they actually cost you in real dollars. High-cost funds inside many American 401k plans charge between 1% and 1.5% per year. Now, I know what you are thinking. 1%? That is nothing. That is basically zero. So let me show you what 1% actually looks like over 20 years. You are 45 years old. You have $200,000 in your 401k. You plan to retire at 65 with a high-cost fund charging 1% annually. Your net return after fees is 6%. Over 20 years, your $200,000 grows to approximately $641,000. Now take the exact same $200,000, same time period, same market returns. But this time, you are in a low-cost index fund charging just 0.05% annually. Your net return is now 6.95%. Your balance grows to approximately $771,000. That is a $130,000 difference. $130,000 that left your account silently. month by month, year by year, without a single notification, without a single line on your statement that said fee taken this month. And here's what makes this even more frustrating. Most 401k plans offer low-cost index fund options, charging under 0.10%. They sit right there inside the same plan. Most people never switch to them simply because nobody ever explained what the difference actually costs. Here's what you do today. Log into your 401k, go to your investments, find the column that shows expense ratio or fund fees. If anything shows above 0.5%, find out immediately whether a lower cost option exists inside your plan. One conversation with your HR department, one fund switch, potentially $130,000 more in your pocket at retirement. Drain 2. The tax bill nobody prepares you for. I want you to think about something for a moment. Every single dollar sitting in your traditional 401k right now, you have never paid a single cent of tax on it. Not when it went in. Not while it has been growing. Not yet. The IRS knows this. They have always known this. And they have been perfectly patient, waiting for the day you retire and start withdrawing. Because that day, every dollar that comes out gets taxed as ordinary income at whatever your tax rate is at that time. Now, most people assume they will be in a lower tax bracket in retirement because they will not be working. And I understand why that feels logical. But here is what actually happens to a lot of retirees that they never saw coming. You have your 401k withdrawals coming in. You have Social Security income coming in. Maybe rental income. Maybe a spouse who is still working. Maybe investment dividends. Add all of that together. And suddenly your retirement income is not nearly as low as you assumed. And the IRS is taking a significantly bigger slice than you ever planned for. And then on top of that, there is something called required minimum distributions, RMDs. Here's exactly how this works. If you were born between 1951 and 1959, the IRS forces you to start withdrawing a minimum amount from your 401k every single year starting at age 73. If you were born in 1960 or later, that age is 75 under the Secure 2.0 Act. Here is what makes RMDs so frustrating for so many retirees. The IRS does not care whether the market is up or down. They do not care whether the timing works for you or not. They do not care whether you need the money or not. When you hit that age, you take the withdrawal and you pay the tax on it. Now here is what the smartest Americans in their 40s and 50s are quietly doing right now to protect themselves from this. They are splitting their contributions between a traditional 401k and a Roth 401k. Here's the difference that matters. Roth contributions go in after tax, meaning you pay the tax today while you are still earning. But everything inside that Roth account grows completely tax-free. And when you withdraw in retirement, every single dollar comes out tax-free. No taxes. And no required minimum distributions. If your employer offers a Roth 401k option, which most do now, this is a conversation worth having before you get any closer to retirement. The tax you pay today on Roth contributions could save you a fortune when your options become far more limited. Drain 3. The retirement killer. Nobody talks about this one. Has nothing to do with fees, nothing to do with taxes. This one is about timing. And the reason it is so dangerous is that by the time most people discover it, the damage is already permanent. It is called sequence of returns risk. Let me show you exactly how it works with a real scenario. You spend 30 years building your 401k. You retire at 65 with $600,000. You plan to withdraw $30,000 a year to cover your living expenses on top of Social Security. Everything looks solid until the market drops 35% in your very first year of retirement. Your $600,000 is now worth $390,000, but your bills did not drop 35%. Your mortgage did not drop 35%. Your groceries did not drop 35%. You still need that $30,000. So you withdraw $30,000 from a base that is now $390,000. The market recovers the following year. But here is the brutal reality. You already sold shares at the bottom to pay your living expenses. Those shares are gone forever. They do not come back when the market recovers because you already spent them. This is why a market crash in the first few years of retirement can do permanent damage that a crash in your 40s never would. When you are still working and contributing, a crash is actually a buying opportunity. When you are withdrawing, it is devastating. So here's what people who understand this do differently. In the 5 to 10 years leading up to retirement, they gradually shift a portion of their 401k out of aggressive growth funds and into more stable, lower volatility options. Not everything. Just enough of a cushion that one bad market year does not permanently derail their entire retirement plan. This is called a glide path strategy. Most target date funds inside 401k plans do this automatically when you choose the fund that matches your retirement year. If you are within 10 years of retirement and your 401k is still sitting 100% in aggressive growth funds, that needs to change. Today. Drain 4. The free money. Most Americans walk away from, I want to talk about something that is going to frustrate you, because it involves free money that belongs to you that millions of Americans are leaving completely unclaimed every single year. Most employers who offer a 401k also offer what is called an employer match. Here's how the most common version works. Your employer matches 50 cents for every dollar you contribute, up to 6% of your salary. Let me make that real. You earn $60,000 a year. You contribute 6% of your salary. That is $3,600. Your employer immediately adds $1,800 on top of that. Free. Just for contributing enough to qualify. That is $1,800 of free money deposited directly into your retirement account every single year. Over 20 years, without a single dollar of investment growth. That is $36,000 that was yours for the taking. Now here's the part that is genuinely hard to believe. Millions of Americans contribute less than the amount needed to receive their full employer match every single paycheck. Not because they are struggling financially, in many cases, simply because nobody ever sat them down and explained that their employer was offering to add free money to their account and showed them exactly how much they were leaving behind by not claiming it. This is the closest thing to free money that exists in the entire American financial system, and millions of people are walking away from it every single month. Here's what you do this week. Call your HR department or log into your benefits portal. Ask 2 questions. What is our exact 401k match policy? And am I currently contributing enough to receive every dollar of that match? If the answer to the second question is no, fixing that right now is the single highest return financial move available to you. Nothing in personal finance gives you an instant guaranteed return the moment your contribution hits the account. Nothing. Drain 5, the most expensive mistake Americans are making right now. This last one is the one I told you to stay for. And I want you to hear this carefully. Because right now, in 2026, more Americans are making this mistake than at any point in recent memory. They are withdrawing from their 401k early, before age 59 and a half. And I understand exactly why it happens. Inflation has been brutal. Household budgets are stretched. An unexpected medical bill shows up, an adult child needs help. High-interest credit card debt feels suffocating. And sitting right there in an app on your phone is a large sum of money with your name on it. It feels like the solution. But here is the actual math of what happens the moment you make that withdrawal. The IRS immediately hits you with a 10% early withdrawal penalty off the top. Then the entire amount gets added to your taxable income for that year, potentially pushing you into a higher tax bracket and creating a tax bill you were not expecting at all. And then the part that most people never calculate in that moment of financial stress, that money stops growing forever. Let me put a real number on that so it hits properly. You withdraw $20,000 at age 45. After the 10% penalty and income taxes, depending on your tax bracket, you might walk away with as little as $13,000 in your hand. But that $20,000 left alone in your account, growing at 7% annually for 20 years, would have become approximately $77,000 by the time you retire. Read that again. You gave up $77,000 of retirement money to get $13,000 in hand today. That is the real cost of an early withdrawal. And almost nobody calculates it before they make the decision. Before you ever touch your 401k early, exhaust every single other option first. A personal loan, a home equity line of credit, hardship assistance programs, Roth IRA contributions, which under current rules can be withdrawn penalty-free, a 401k loan, which at least keeps the money inside your account continuing to grow. Early withdrawal is always the last resort. Let me bring it all together. 5 things quietly draining your 401k right now. Hidden fees that could cost you over $130,000 over 20 years. Check your expense ratios today. A tax bill waiting at retirement you never planned for. Know your RMD age and start thinking seriously about Roth. Sequence of returns risk. One bad market year at the wrong moment can permanently damage everything you built. Free employer match money sitting completely unclaimed. One phone call to HR this week fixes that forever. And early withdrawal, trading $77,000 of future retirement security for $13,000 in hand today, never the answer. Here's the truth. That number sitting in your 401k right now is not your retirement. It is just the starting point. What you actually walk away with depends entirely on what you do between today and the day you stop working. You now know what most Americans never find out until the damage is already done. Do something with that knowledge. Subscribe so you never miss an update. Share this with someone in their 40s or 50s who needs to hear it right now. See you in the next one.